I don't know, Martin. It's unfair, and I want to protest. Twitch. Which can go fly a kite. I don't know, buddy. But I'm going to shout you out, my friend. Martin is an amazing digital environment artist who, without a doubt, is one of my most favorite mods out of the 2 mods I have. But my other mod brother is so amazing too, that's tied. They're amazing together. They are a team. A unity team that I cannot deal without. I need them both. Martin, you're amazing. Go check them out. I know you're typing, brother. Alright, guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning. It's about as good as it's gonna get. Good morning. But so real quick, I'll wait for a few more people to get here, but just kind of want to make a little bit of announcement that we will not be talking any politics today whatsoever. End of discussion. Can't deal with it today. So no politics, no mention of politics, just pure, unadulterated, sexy art stream. That's where we're at today. Just being real. I was up till 1 in the morning watching my government do their job. So I'm pretty tired. But I figure we'll just put out a friendly reminder about that. Hey! Hello! How are you? Handsome. That is... You're too kind. Thank you so much. Just made me blush. How are you? Hello. We're going to be doing some ZBrush Core Mini free, which is completely free. If you wanted to get into ZBrush, this is the video to come back to or to follow along with. Nice. Did that, brother. But, yeah. How are you doing? What is new in your world? Anything fun and exciting? I get my glove on. My art glove. Oh, that's a good idea for the last Thursday stream. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And I'm going to show you here in a second what we're doing, but we are sculpting a cute little mushroom. Cute in my terms of cute. But I wanted to cover kind of the basics of ZBrush Core Mini, just so that people kind of get what, understand what they're working with. It is very stripped down, but it's a very fun program. And I think a lot of people would like it. So we're definitely gonna do a bunch of stuff today. I'm excited about it. It's only Thursday. Indeed. All right, so real quick, we're gonna do, so you have your basic gizmo. So you have your brushes on the left-hand side and materials that you can operate with. Should really be sculpted in this red wax. It's just truly amazing. And then up above, you could start with a sphere, which is usually what it defaults at. Or you could start with a cube. It's up to you. Getting my music released on Spotify. Hell yeah. That is awesome. Do you have a link? When it's done, please let me know. Wait. How do I get that head you have in that corner? Wait. Oh, this one right here? This little guy here in the top corner? This one is just standard in ZBrush. Wait, what head? Hold on. Huh? What head? Hey, how do I get that head you have in the corner? What are we talking about, Martin? Hey, J-Crew! Hello! I must have destroyed my settings in ZBrush. Oh! Ew, yeah. Yeah, this little gizmo thing, that's normal. That's always there. ZBrush, every standard of it. That head should be there. Fun story. I had to, January 22nd is the release date. Yes. Okay, great. That's awesome. Please keep me posted. I really want to know. Whatchamacallit? I had to reinstall all of my ZBrushes last night. I had to install a lot of like Microsoft Visual, C++ stuff. I had a lot of weird things happening, so hopefully I got it all sorted out. But it was funny, ZBrush Core Mini didn't want to install because it said I had another version of ZBrush installed, and I thought that was so frustrating. So and because you don't really need this program if you own ZBrush of any other kinds, but you know, why not? Okay, so yeah, so let's go back over. So on the left hand side, we have 8 brushes that you give for the starting of ZBrush, which honestly, I use all of these brushes in ZBrush regular. So these are the perfect set of brushes, from your standard brush to your clay buildup, inflate, pinching, like all this is great. So I really like that. Snake hook is one of my favorites. You guys know I've used it a bunch of times. Make little twirlies. So really cool. The thing with ZBrush Core that I have to call out, because it's important to how you approach it, is actually it uses Sculptress Pro in the background. So every time you go to do something, Sculptress Pro adds triangles everywhere, and it's brush dependent. So if you have a big brush, it's going to do that nice big triangles. And if you have a tiny brush, it's going to do small triangles, which gives you better resolution. You can see the bigger brush, smaller resolution, the tinier brush, height resolution. So the bigger the brush, the less resolution you have. That's important to know. What is up, Inspire? We are going over ZBrush Core. Wow, sorry. We are going over ZBrush Core Mini. The ZBrush Core interface is 10 times more intuitive than standard ZBrush. Yes, it is. Because they took away all the stuff that is usually confusing, and yeah, this is so much more intuitive. This part's really cool. I like this. So right here you get an active polygon count, and then you get a low, medium, and high. Thank you so much. This is cool because let's say we sculpt a bunch. Let's just get this number really high. I'm gonna do something really cool. Just really get this number up. So notice as I keep brushing, this number increases. And what's really cool is, let's say this is my pretty flower. Ooh, there it is. Looking amazing. This is what you showed up for. This number is super high. What I like is if we need to decimate this down, if I were to hit low, it's actually going to figure out how to condense that 200,000 to the lowest setting, which is 150K. So I do appreciate that, because if you get super high, you want to kind of down res it a little bit. And so that's what those buttons do. They allow you to control, because you only get about 750,000 polygons before it crashes and tells you to upgrade. Yeah, so basically an automated decimation master. Absolutely correct. Yep. And that's pretty cool. It also has, I believe it still has the unlimited history as well. But use a Sculptress Pro, like I said, to pull out shapes, which, as you can see, is just helpful for those who are trying to start sculpting for the first time and you want to make a really cool dragon head real fast and say, here's my Pikachu. So it's really easy to get into, but I do find that my standard method of ZBrush is a little dedicated to traditional ZBrush, so I had to change how I sculpt a little bit just to play around in here, but I like it. So I figure let's get into it. Let me show you guys the concept that we're working with today. Cute little mushroom. Stick them right here in the corner. All the features. So, go ahead and always on top. And then we're going to go ahead and going to lock this window. So now we can't accidentally move it, except for we just move what's on the inside. So this will be, if you want to sculpt with me, this could be the concept that we're working with today. And as you can see here too, I've looked up real mushroom anatomy, kind of the shape and idea of what it is we'll be looking at. That's always helpful, even for cartoons. This mushroom's pretty sick. We stream rating today. We are stream rating today, J Crew, for sure. Let's get into it. But yeah, and this design is done by a talented and amazing Brian Allen from Flyland Designs. Found it on Google, but want to call him out because it's a cool design, and every artist should be credited. So that's where we're at today. I'm going to put this here so that way it's not covering up any of the tools. And yeah, we're going to be good to go. Let me load up Stream Raiders and then let's get sculpting. And like I said, if there's anybody here who's interested in learning ZBrush for the first time, oh look, there's an update. How about that? Update time. If you're interested in learning ZBrush whatsoever, and you don't really want to put forth even the $200 for ZBrush Core, like you just want to try it, that's what this version does. It kind of gives you a sense and a feel. I think it gives you an honest sense and feel of how ZBrush will function, just at its very basic level. But it is definitely worth it. I think it's great. So you want to follow along or ask questions, please do. With a max of 750,000 polys, that whole concept, well, we're only going to do one mushroom. I don't think there's going to be time to do all three. But we can get pretty good resolution, keeping our numbers pretty low. There'll be a little bit of trickery, but, you know, we can get there. We can get there. I believe in us. And that's the whole point. We'll challenge ourselves. But even still, I think 3 hours, because that's going to be today. Oh, yes, and just so you guys know, thank you all for the support. As always, this will be my last Thursday stream, as in I'm becoming busier as an artist, and I appreciate that. But that means I got to sacrifice something, and because I just don't have time for everything. Sucks. So this will be my last Thursday stream. But so the official schedule is moving into 2021 as Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. The 6-hour streams will continue, so that will be at least 18 hours of solid me. So if you're still into that, come on by. But all right. Without further ado, let's get a sculpted. But we're going to go ahead and symmetry is always turned on in the beginning, which is nice. But I feel like that's a little hindrance sometimes. It's good to call that out. So hit X on the keyboard. Some of the shortcuts still work. I'm very used to the keyboard shortcuts like B, C, B. But if you notice, if I hit B, there is no brush selection. I don't get a brush palette. So I have to get used to coming over here, which I think is a little bit of a bummer. But you have to come over here and select your brushes. And that kind of sucks. But whatever. It is what it is. There's also no poly paint as far as I'm aware of. I don't remember seeing anywhere. There's no paintbrush, so I don't know. Morning! 6 months and 1 day. Didn't know we had that command. Yeah, there's some, like, inherent commands. There's, like, a few that are just there. Good morning, Artsy. How you doing? Alright. I have a question. Do you know an efficient way to do stylized hair? Or an efficient way in doing stylized hair? Like bangs and stuff alike. Okay, so in normal ZBrush, if that's what you're asking, in normal ZBrush, I would recommend downloading a couple brushes. The main one is the Macon hairbrush. If you look that up, it's a great brush, which will help you do stylized hair. But another efficient way, if you want to kind of sculpt your own, let's say we have this sphere, a way to do that, go ahead. Ooh, we started off the day strong. Hold on, guys. This song's out. Anyway, let's go ahead and turn symmetry off. And I'll kind of give you an example. For stylized hair, how I would approach it, you definitely want to do a lot of pinching. So like if we pull this out and let's just get like a chunk of hair. You want to break hair down to like chunks. So if we do something like this, get like a base shape of what one of the hairs of the bang would be. Then you want to come in and start pinching. Although ZBrush Core Mini is going to be a little weird for this. But you want to start pinching certain aspects and get like a base stylized hair shape, something like this. And then if you can turn that into an IMM brush, I would definitely recommend to do so. You can also take the H polish and you can start kind of refining and cleaning those edges up. Get something like this so that you can manipulate. Kind of flatten that side down real quick. You can kind of manipulate the hair as you need it. But what's cool with the Macon hairbrush, which I'll pull up real quick for you to download, what's cool is they have shapes like this that are really easy to work with. But I would start with making a strip of hair like that first, and then working your way through. So just use the pinch H polish if you want to build your own. But Macon hairbrush. I really recommend that you check this guy out. This is the hairbrush that most of us actually use a lot. So I'm gonna go ahead and post that. And it's free. If you go to, and oh yeah, here we go. This is what you want. You want to come here. Funky bunnies. Ooh, what the heck? Hold on, my chat's weird. Logged me out all of a sudden. There we go. Anyway, my chat just logged me out. But if you want to go here to Funky Bunnies, they have some fun ZBrush brushes. They have curls, Macon hairbrush, eyelashes, buttons, and FB square tubes. All of these are perfect. I recommend you use these the most. They also have some other stuff too. So hopefully that's helpful, Artsy. Okay. Enar, hello! How are you? How are you? Oh, you're welcome. You're more than welcome. Alright, let's get into Dream Raiders. Yes. That. It was updating. Let's see if it's officially updated. Hello! Oh, you guys can see it. It's happening. I see y'all. Yeah, you do. Hello. Yes. Yes, you do. That's okay. Lurky lurk away. Today's just gonna be a nice little fun short stream. Imagine my heart attack. You can't hide here. You can't do that. Luna! Hello! What have I done? You've done everything wonderful. Don't even worry. There we go, there we go. Alright. You've been amazing, you know. Been amazing. What can I say? Everybody here is just so wonderful, so I appreciate all of you guys. I just want you to know that. All right, so we're gonna start sculpting our little mushroom dude. And so, like I said before, I'll turn on. I'm gonna turn on the poly frame by hitting Shift F. That still works. So, and then S. You don't have a spacebar menu, so you have to hit S for size, which is also in standard for ZBrush. I just use spacebar a lot. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the base shape of our mushroom trunk built out first. Not high to Ackerman. Oh, I love it. I love it. So as you can see, the move brush is the only brush that does not have Sculptress Pro on there. But if I go to smooth, it does. So you want to make sure that you are aware of how that operates as we smooth certain things down. Yep. There we go. But finding the right brush size, kind of smooth it. Yes. Opens that up a little bit. Now we're going to take the snake hook brush, find our right position. There we go. And we're actually going to make the cap of the mushroom. But first, actually elongate this a little bit. Get this kind of big like that. Don't hate me because I'm beautiful. Don't worry. I don't think they do. Oh, that's too much. All right. So, as you can see right here, if we keep a look at the active polygons, which, oh my gosh, Shift M does not work. Magnifying glass does not work. Okay, where are you at? But we went from 11,000 to 1,000 just because I used the big brush on the snake hook to then minimize, but also to just kind of give me some low geometry. Go ahead and smooth that down a little bit. Shift. Again, to smooth, just hold Shift. Now what we're going to do is actually make the cap part itself. So for this, I'm going to kind of start pulling out our geometry even as possible. Thanks, Death. I love it. Give me your host. Now, there's no radial symmetry, so even though we have symmetry based on the x-axis, that is it, unlike standard ZBrush. So we do want to take our time with our movements. This song is not as happy as the other one. We'll turn that down. But we do just want to take our time and find our shapes. I feel like actually working with ZBrush Core Mini is a lot like working with traditional clay. Excluding the symmetry, of course, but you only get the sphere. You don't get to add in any additional subtools. You can see there's no subtool palette on the side. So I can't add anything else. You have to work with what's given to you. Isn't ZBrush Core a downgrade? This is like a challenge or something. It is a downgrade. It's not a challenge. I've had a few people request that I showcase what you can do with ZBrush Core Mini. And although it is kind of challenging because I'm used to a certain workflow and process, but yeah, just something kind of fun, something a little different. We've been working on nothing but articulation all week and last week, and that's been kind of that's been melting my brain. So we're just doing something a little different today. Also, to give people the sense of what can be done in ZBrush Core Mini. So if you're looking to get into ZBrush, if you don't have it, if you're somebody who's trying to go that route, this will be for you. Or if you know anybody. But right now, we're just kind of getting the base block out. And because we can't add subtools, we're kind of working with the old school Dynamesh Master method, where we just kind of stretch something out and then look at that shape and then go from there. So we're just kind of getting the same old mushroom going. Something a bit fun and educational. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Not everybody can afford ZBrush, you know, and that's that's the world we kind of live in right now. Is not everybody's able to have these things, and so look, we made a mushroom. And yeah, ZBrush Core Mini is actually. I wish it was around when I first started. I first started with Sculptress Pro, which is another free program. Pardon me. But it's not as intuitive as this is, to be honest. Actually, this is a lot better program to work with as far as free sculpting programs go. Although I also wish Nomad was around when I first started, because that program is fun. I just wish I had an iPad Pro. Sculpting on my phone is a little much, but also I don't have money to spend on an iPad Pro. So it can be a bit much. Let's kind of smooth that down. Now let's take a look at our wireframe. You can see we have pretty decent topology. You know, as far as it is all decimated in a sense. It's Sculptress Pro. But take our time and let's pull something out. Make it look nice. And if you are following along or just curious, feel free. Okay. Now what's really cool is we have clay buildup. We can go ahead and kind of fill in some of these areas here and kind of smooth them down. And it yeah, it just kind of adds right on top of there. There we go. We want to be aware of where our face is at all times. Try to keep your character forward if possible. I didn't think I'd find this interesting as I currently do. Never paid attention to Core Mini. I'm eager to see where this goes. Oh yeah, well you see here I got my concept on the side. So we're gonna be doing some fun stuff. Yeah. I've seen some real talented artists pull miracles out of this program, so I think it's only fair I give it a shot too. I'm glad you find it interesting too. I said earlier, I kind of liken it a little bit more towards like traditional ZBrush and maybe even traditional sculpting. You're just applying or subtracting material, like you're just adding or taking away. And you only have the sphere to work with. You just have this little ball of clay to operate with. So right now I'm just trying to get shapes. But I know why you guys really came here. You really want this red wax. Which is not automatically defaulted. The red wax is automatically defaulted in standard ZBrush, and ZBrush Core Mini is defaulted as matte cap gray. I find that hilarious that they still throw this shitty material in here, and yet nobody uses it. It's so gross. I think the people that use it are brand new to ZBrush and don't know how to change material. I think that's where that goes. Also, brothers, isn't this on a regular tablet? Also, this isn't on regular tablets. No. Yeah, that red gives me hives. Yeah, no, this one isn't on regular tablets. This is only on computer. But if you have a really crappy laptop that you want to try ZBrush, but you're like, I don't want to upgrade, then yeah, this can run on pretty much anything. I mean, they always have the recommended specs, of course, you want to check that, but I've tested this out on, it won't work on a Chromebook, but I've tested this out on, like, you know, really crappy laptop. My daughter's laptop. She has a laptop that's okay, and it works. I mean, like a Windows tablets. Oh, Windows tablets. Actually, this might work on a Windows tablet. If you're talking about those portable tablets that have the Windows OS on it, this should work on there, because you can install programs. It would be. Yeah, that's true. Actually, Inspire, are you here, buddy? You have one of those tablets, don't you? And I think you run ZBrush on it. Yep. So, and you run... I had. Oh, you had? What happened? What happened? All right. I have a Wacom tablet now. Oh, yeah, you do. All right. Let's go ahead and kind of clean this up a little bit. And now we're going to start adding in, we're going to add in our, let's actually save it. And let's start adding in our face a little bit. That's where the real magic is going to start coming in. We got a base shape. So, okay. To save it, you're just going to have to hit Control S. It'll give us this menu. Go here. Got our little ZBrush Core mini stream. And it saves automatically as a DPR. It saves automatically as a GIF, which I find funny. You can just load in ZPR if you want. It's up to you. Room. You're one. Boop. So just Control S, that's how you save. I got ZBrush on my Surface, but it's more for noodling than anything else. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, the Windows tablet that run the Entrig for their pen will not work. Ooh, interesting. Good to know. Just saying something like that. This would be perfect. Yeah, exactly. Because this is not intensive. So yeah, if you're just doing it for, you know, if you got that little tablet just take on the go and you want to sculpt something, this would be perfect for that for sure. All right. Let's start. So what we're going to do is actually start carving out the face. So we're going to take the slash brush. And again, the smaller the brush, the more detail you get. So we're going to have kind of a big brush right now. And just loosely kind of sculpt where we want those eyes. Just little indications. And then we're going to kind of put where we want the mouth. That's going to be mouth. Now, there's certain factors we got to keep in mind because we don't have different subtools. We are going to have a little bit of a difficult time adding in like stuff like the tongue. So we want to make sure there's enough space for all that stuff. So kind of keep all that in mind. Let's hit the clay brush, clay buildup. So hit over here. Clean air sculpting. You could use the Bluetooth pen. Ooh, interesting. Good morning. Good morning. What we're going to do is kind of carve in eye sockets, a smaller brush. And we're going to, not kind of, we will be carving in the eye sockets. Those eye sockets. I love little mushroom characters like this. They have so much life and shape to them. So there we go. Kind of go ahead and build up these brow lines. Pay attention to the angles. More important, we can grab the move brush. Go. Go. Really want to exaggerate these shapes too. Because we have this plane where kind of this cheekbone comes out and then kicks back in. So we want to get that going in there. Also want to remember that ear, his forehead widens out as well. So for ZBrush, it has to use Wacom. There's a proper word for it, forget, or otherwise you won't get the pressure. Yeah, I hear that there's some weird stuff with Wacom tablets. I don't personally own one, so I don't know, but I've seen other people have some issues. It's like has to be Wacom specific. It's proprietary. I think it's the word you're looking for. Wacom's kind of like Apple. All right, let's go ahead and smooth some of these details out. We're not looking to keep them. And when smoothing those details out, if you see up here at the top, got 164,000 points, and all this detail is crunched because we have a smaller brush. So if I drop the intensity a little bit, but do just a light smooth, that number goes back down. And that's how you want to control your polygons a little bit. Want to be able to smooth down certain areas that has too much detail, but you don't want to be afraid to go in there with a smaller brush and carve something out. Wacom and other tablets rewrite the file that makes the sensitivity work. Interesting. RTX 3080 is going to be way more expensive in 2021. Yeah. For some reason, no one has made a way for a way to make all softwares work at once. Interesting. That's good to know. Now the drivers behind it, so Wacom XP all use the same driver type. Why they all work with ZBrush. Interesting. I don't know the techie stuff so much. Okay, so other things to note as well is that you do have a draw size, and then you have this, there's a dynamic button up here. What does that do? Not sure. There's a dynamic button up here. What does that do? Hold S. So if we, let's move this window for a second. Because you hold control over something in ZBrush, it tells you what it is. So there's a dynamic button. Let's see here. For painting actions, one sculpt, each tool remains calls. However, painting, draw size, and sculpting remain constant. Doesn't really tell me what it does exactly. All right, well, is what it is. Learn something new. There we go. All right. Saying is that it overwrites the file each time you install a new tablet driver. All this shit could work at once, but they complicate it for everyone else instead. Oh yeah, yes, I've heard of that too. Yeah, a big tip when installing a new tablet is to uninstall all of the drivers originally, so that it all works together. Yeah, things get a little convoluted, unnecessarily so. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and add some of our spots. Literally a dumb doggle. Yeah, exactly. Derp. Nope, I get it. All right, so we're gonna add some of these little mushroom spots. These would be bumpy. Go ahead and add them all over the place, and they're just random. We'll try to kind of like match it a little bit to the concept, but you know, you don't have to, if you're just noodling, you don't have to get too crazy. There we go. Put a few of them here. S on the keyboard gives you a different draw size. Kind of clay build up some of this stuff. There we go. Take a bigger brush, do a light smooth, drop some of that topology down, just until we're ready to refine it. You don't want too much detail at once, so bigger brush will kind of kick some of that down, but still give you the shapes that you. Also, too, notice on my brush there's two rings. Usually, one is for, well, the outer one is for the size of the brush. The inner one is actually for how hard or soft that brush will be laid down. That's adjustable in normal ZBrush, but not in ZBrush Core Mini. So you are kind of stuck a little bit with what they give you, which is unfortunate. But that's okay. I mean, they got to make their money somewhere, I guess. That's the thing, you don't have to uninstall it if you have a way of overwriting this file. Those names have forgotten. Surely there are some clever cogs out there who could write this file and include brand names. Yeah, probably. Watching someone with such limited options got me thinking, why isn't Sculpt.io a thing yet? Ooh, interesting. No idea. Yeah, I like, actually, I'm already digging how limited I am. I have to rethink a lot of my process. I took a look at it after I reinstalled it last night, and yeah, I was kind of flabbergasted actually with how little there is here, but how much you can do. So I'm excited. Take the move brush, take the big brush, actually crunch his face down a little bit. So we're going to turn symmetry back on now that we're done with that. Let's do something like this. Now, even though we're doing a mushroom, you still kind of want an idea of face anatomy. You can help it. So if you're struggling a little bit there, kind of look up some reference images. I've sculpted enough face, I kind of have an idea of what I should be doing. One would think at this moment. But, you know, I still look up reference from time to time. So here would be a perfect example of the pinch brush, where we're trying to create a lip. So we're going to just kind of pinch that area. Go nice and small. And even though it's asymmetrical, we're still going to kind of keep things symmetrical until we're ready to break symmetry. That's still what you want to do, but we're going to lightly pinch these areas and get the idea of where it's all going to go. Get the clay buildup. Let's actually kind of cut underneath. Kind of block out that mouth bag. Mouth sack. Bag or sack, you can say it either way. It's like that. And now holding Alt, that's how I'm subtracting negatively. Go ahead and just kind of pop that right in there. And what's cool is watching this number get confused sometimes because I'm removing material now, but also I am adding a good amount. So the way Sculptress works is it tries to rebuild that geometry as best it can. So going through is watching this number go higher and lower. It's quite satisfying, actually. And we'll just smooth that back down. Take a bigger brush. Again, let's take a look at the geometry. Bigger brush, smooth it down, gives us less topology. Dropping that number. So this whole time I've been fluctuating between 150 to 200,000 points. And it's just something to be aware of when you're playing with this program. Just kind of be mindful of where you want to put your detail. I'll take the move brush, which does not change your topology whatsoever, and we'll kind of create the backside of the mouth. It's down here at the bottom. That Sculptress is going to be amazing. Ooh, I wonder, actually. I have a curious. If I move a little bit here and then I hold Alt. Yes, that does. That work? Does that kind of snap? You hold Alt with Sculptress. Kind of snaps a little bit. Kind of works. Not the way it should. That's okay. Hey, thank you so much, Boom, for the follow. Appreciate it. Feel free to sculpt along or ask questions if you're curious about ZBrush Core Mini, as I'm just kind of exploring it today. And yeah, it's pretty cool. So far, so good. Okay. Now we're going to get this base kind of triangular shape happening here. So I'm going to go ahead and take the move brush. Make it a lot bigger. Kind of angle it out this way. Kind of down like this. We'll give him a little bit of a overbite. Is that what it is? An overbite? The lower jaw goes over. Forget the proper term. Overbite or underbite. I think it's an overbite. We'll just make sure his jaw's pushed past. And we'll give him a bit of a chin. Touch. Just kind of take a look at it, and let's go ahead and hit Control S. And we're just going to go ahead and save over the other file because this is coming along fairly nicely. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add the eyes in. Let's first add brow ridge right here. Go, kind of put that down. I'm going to pull out the cheeks a little bit. There we go. Kind of pull this up too. Just keep rotating the model around until get the shape that I want. Go to clay buildup. Build that ridge up a bit. All right, so let's get the eyes put in. So we're gonna want to make the eyes bigger than they should be. Move that down a little bit. Luckily, there's no pupils here. We're going to do something like that. Kind of smooth it down just a little bit. Now we're going to go ahead and take the /3 brush. I'm actually going to go ahead and kind of carve just a little bit of these details where the eye socket would be. And where the eyelid would be. Paying attention to the shape and the flow. Such. That down a little bit. This is where clay buildup is going to come in. I'm actually going to go ahead and put a line right here, right across. Where the eyelid is going to go. Down like this. And I'm going to make them the same eyes, and then we'll make one smaller just like before. Or just like on the image, I mean. I'm here. Now I'm going to use the clay buildup and go over the areas where the actual eyelids would be. And I'm using that /brush line to kind of guide me. So I get that kind of fold that happens over it. Build it up slowly. Now we are getting into some details here, and if we take a look, we can definitely see those details. So I am aware of all those. But we'll be smoothing this back down a little bit. Makes me think of infected mushroom. Great musical group. Are you using Core? Yes, I'm using Core Mini. As requested by a couple people. And also too, why not? Yeah. Something a little different today. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and kind of smooth this back down lightly. Gonna bring that number down a little bit, but get rid of some of those finer details. Let's take a look back and just see, do those look like eyes? That's the important part. And they do. Yes, they do. All right, 19 units were placed. You can see here, that's an easy way to get an eye shape just using the /3 brush and the clay buildup, which kind of helps you get those shapes the way you want them. Clearly, we're nowhere near a completed eye, but we're able to kind of get the idea down as quickly as possible. Like I said, we'll just kind of smooth out some of these areas, and then we'll refine it later once we get the rest of the character kind of shaped in there. Also, too, just before we hit Stream Raiders, we will quickly just carve in where there should be a nose. It is there in the concept. Up a little bit. There we go. Kind of completes the face a little bit more. Right now, he looks a little happy without those teeth. All right, let's do Stream Raiders for those of you on Twitch. Do it, let's do it. All right, here we go, here we go. Stretch my neck a little bit. I didn't stretch this morning, I should have. If we're just breaking buildings, we might be okay. Come on. Let's do it. Look at that beast, Death. Look at that beast. I have the most kills. What? Whoa, when did that happen? That's never happened. I have the most kills. What the heck? That's crazy. TWC Blank for the win. Coming in for the assists. Oh, look at that, guys. We did it. We did it. We did it. Good job. All right. And the winner is J. Crew for the item reward. Good job. All right. Go ahead with another 4. Go ahead and let's do reindeer action right up there. All right. All right, let's go back into our shapes here a little bit. So a really cool trick that I've learned just using ZBrush and Dynamesh a lot, and this is going to be very helpful with the ZBrush Core, is trying to get like gums and stuff like that built in real quickly. You want to use clay buildup and then pull that material down, and then and we can rebuild the geometry on the fly because of Sculptress. So we'll be able to do something very similar here. So let's smooth that down a little bit. Kind of get a cleaner surface to work with. Take the clay buildup. We're going to kind of angle it this way. Now there is no lasso. So holding shift and control, I can't, there's no lasso. There's no masking either. Like literally you are at bare bones. So you can't sit here and think, oh, I can get underneath this and then not have to have anything in the way. So you want to be aware of how your shapes are flowing and what's interfering when you go to add detail. This could also help though with just kind of being mindful of where you place your detail and making what is visible the most detailed, and then what's not kind of manipulated at that point. So for here to get the gums, I'm going to want to actually do the top mouth first and kind of just get a decent angle at it. Try your best. That's all you can do. We're going to go ahead and draw the gum line. Let's actually carve in a little bit more. That back just a little. Where if I'm not punching through the backside. Yeah. That. Add like a little mouth sac right there. Shape of the mouth. This is where the tongue will come from. Go. Up. Down. Go. Like that. And then what we could do is take the move brush and actually start pulling the gums down. Being aware of what we're tugging. This will be good to start adding the teeth, and this is how we will add the teeth. Got to smooth that region down. Heyo. Yep. Also true, Next Nox, I was I haven't listened to Infected Mushroom in a while, and now I want to. I wish we could listen to it now on the stream without getting flagged. Yeah, let's go ahead and smooth the backside just a little bit, give a little bit more resolution, and then let's take the move brush and add just a little bit more geometry on the back. That. There we go. Now we'll take the /3. We'll take a decent size. Just Shift F to kind of see how the topology is going to add. Again, we don't want a lot of detail, but we're going to want enough. Give it a richer, deeper gum line right there. And this is where smooth comes in. Like I said, if you look at the top, got 280, add a line, it increases, rebuilding that geometry. If I smooth it back down, I can take some of that detail away, giving me more focus on shapes and not on the detail. So I use smooth way more here than I do in traditional ZBrush because I'm not capped by topology. Yeah, this is a cool concept. I really like it. I just literally typed in cute mushroom characters. This amazing artist by Brian Allen from Flyland Designs did this design. So shout out to him. I'll probably have to, once we sculpt it, I'm gonna tag him in it as well. I think he'll get a kick out of the sculpt. Why not? Shout out to him. Now we have this going on. Cute, eh? Yeah. Just got very lost in scale. I was making a shape that I felt was just too huge, but then I measured it and it was only 0.01 of an inch. Yeah. I get lost in scale too. All the time, bro. Like that Vegeta arm I was working on. Here it is. It fits. There's some other issues with it that I didn't take into account. That's a design issue on my side. But here it is. Forgot how small it was. So, but all the hinges and stuff fit nicely. And pen was a little tight, but we do get movement. So there is articulation happening, and as we move it forward, it does hold. I know it's hard to see, but yeah. So now I have to go back and redesign a few things, but I'm on the way to getting that. I'm more confident today about articulation than I was yesterday. So I'm happy. That's the whole point, right? So that part works. So yay! Anyway, so now we have the gums built. Go take move brush. And because we don't have masking, we kind of want to make sure that we just take a good look at how thick our walls are. Speaking of scale, just make sure that they are not too bad. Make sure they're decent enough. Let's actually draw some gum lines here real quick. So slash, bring this down. It's time to move beyond. Plus ultra. That's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna actually start drawing in where the teeth would be. So we're gonna add in our in-between lines. Try to make them as uniform as possible, but also kind of guide where the teeth would be. They're very angular teeth. So we just want to do that. Then we're going to take clay buildup. Just going to add some puffiness to them real quick. But here, really just pay attention to my topology. Don't want to add too much detail. What we're gonna do is take clay buildup, take a decent brush size, add little spots right here. I'm gonna tug on. We're gonna use the snake hook. And okay, let's see if this part works here. Yeah, all right, does not pull to a normal. Sucks. So this is where we want to be careful, take our time. Different draw size. This is going to be the hardest part of the whole concept. We do have inflate, so I'm going to rely on that a little bit. But like we did with the eyes, we'll do the same with the gums. We started watching Schitt's Creek. Oh, yeah, dude. I am not caught up with it, but wow, what an amazing show. I think season 4 is where I stopped. Life got a little depressing and the show wasn't helping. What do you think of it so far? Okay. We're using the inflate brush to kind of get the teeth built. Oh boy. Gonna quickly add some separation, the gums and the teeth. Oh, I have to finish. Yeah. All right, let's take the move brush. So we're at 337,000 polys. So still doing okay. We're not doing too terrible. All right, for the bottom gums, we're gonna kind of push this down a little bit. We got to do the teeth first before we end up doing the top. Move that down. There we go. Yeah, he's looking adorable, isn't he? Still in the middle of season 1. Pretty funny, little grating at first, but once you get into the rhythm of it, it's a bit hilarious. Yeah. May I make a critique or comment? Oh, yeah, feel free. I mean, we are definitely still in the blackout stage, so... But go for it, Mofafa. Chris Elliott is so good at being gross. Yeah, really. Really, really is. Can I rotate to the side view? Sure. There you go. Look at what you posted, brother. Let's see. Oh, in Discord or... Oh, no. Catherine O'Hara is absolutely delight. Yeah, it really is. Wait, in the Discord or... Right here? Yeah. Comments. Oh, here it is. I understood that reference. Nice. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we've been sculpting on this for maybe an hour, but still kind of getting the whole shapes and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, we just started, man. Oh, okay. Yeah, blackout face. Yeah, exactly. If I called this final, Mofafa, you can come over and hit me. No, you're good though, by the way, dude. You're totally good. All right. Now we're going to do the same thing with the gums here. Kind of block those in a little bit. Yeah, Catherine O'Hara is amazing in that show. Absolutely. Build this back up a little bit more. I go ahead and smooth that down. I'm going to grab the move brush. Just start kind of pulling the gums up a little bit. Now, the other thing to remember too is we want to make sure that we don't have too much interference between what would traditionally be one subtool or another. I don't block teeth out like this usually, so I want to make sure that I have enough space to pull up the gums and not affect any other part of my model. Slash. Kind of clean this up a little bit. Carve that in. All right. I'm gonna take the slash brush, kind of just identify again where these teeth would be. Go. And these teeth are clearly smaller, so we can get away with a lot more. Was there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Okay, let's actually back this up a little bit. Can add a couple more in there. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. How many teeth you'd have. Go ahead and start pulling out where these teeth would be. Her accent kills you. Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing. The whole show is fun. Just, you know, it is about rich people losing their stuff. So, you know, kind of hard to relate exactly. There we go. We go. Makes no sense at all. Oh, by the way, Mofapa, how are you doing, buddy? Since you're here now. Go. All right. Then we're going to go ahead and take the inflate brush. Kind of puff these teeth up a little bit. Move down certain areas. You can just see that inflate brush really does just kind of help. All right. Sorry, bouncing back and forth. I missed what you said about my comment. I apologize. Oh, no, you're fine, dude. Oh, I was just saying, yeah, we're in the blackout phase. No big deal. But I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for asking. Rough time over the holidays, but getting back into the groove. Nice, man. Nice. Well, glad to hear that getting back into the swing of things. That's important. But yeah, no, as far as your comment goes, if you missed that, no, yeah, his face is a little flat right now, but I'm keeping into account the shape of his face right now because of this tongue. I'll show you what I mean here in a second. Go ahead and save it, but I kind of want to get his bottom teeth a little bit more detailed, and then I'm going to pull his tongue out, and then we'll move his face forward. Because right now, we can't add different subtools in Core Mini, so you have to keep in mind how you want to approach something, and don't do too much too quick, because that can cause issues with how you plan to do certain areas. It's a little bit different of an approach in ZBrush Core Mini, and you can tell they don't mean for you to stay here for too long, although you could definitely get used to this quickly. So do you think Netsuko is biting down on the bamboo. Oh no, yeah. Netsuko as a whole, it's easy to animate, and this is where cheating animation comes in. Um, they do it all the time, but Netsuko, they're not going to draw her a face expression. Really, it's all in her eyes, so they just put it there. But it's definitely in her mouth for sure. They do animate her biting it sometimes, but usually when she's angry. So like if you had a scene where she's roided out and she's big, and she's like pushed down on a demon, then she would be biting down at that point for sure. Oh, okay, I just realized now you're in core. Oh yeah, challenge, buddy. All right. Yep. Not so much a challenge, it's more of like people requested it, so say let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and smooth some of these teeth out and refine them a bit. Get some more detail in there. Then we're gonna get this tongue in there. Pardon me. Like, got hiccups all day today. It's like my body forgot how to operate. Huh? I know, right? All right. All right, so let's identify these gums themselves. So we're gonna take a small, so it's really gonna bump the topology up here a bit. We're gonna go ahead and just put the shape lines of his gums where we want them. Go. Now we're gonna go ahead and grab the clay buildup brush. And actually, no, we're not gonna grab the clay buildup brush. We're actually gonna grab the standard brush. We're actually gonna puff up those gums. That. And you can see here that really does do a great job. I think the standard brush in ZBrush as a whole is underutilized for sure. But I use it for ears, I use it for gums, use it for puffing up eyelids. That can be really, even still cutting in with it. Good separation. I'm jealous because I'm stuck in a library and I can't. I'm assuming that's what you meant. That's a bummer. That's a bummer. As polish, we're going to use H polish to get some of the refinement of the teeth. Yeah, that sucks. You guys know how much I love pointy teeth? Done way too many venoms. Go. Kind of scale it down a little bit. So this part's the hard part. Trying to get on the backside. You know, just do the best you can. ZBrush Core is limited in what it can do. So really just kind of about practice. Just try your best. Even though teeth are pointy, they're not always, you know, they rarely come so sharp to a point that it's that harsh of a line anyway. Especially if you're going to do stuff for 3D printing, so you want some thickness there. So we can just kind of smooth it down a little bit and work with it. Hot shower and a cold brew ice. Nice, warm, fuzzy feeling. Yeah. Exactly. Go ahead, let's drop this down, but let's increase the intensity a little bit. So we're polishing a little bit too, we're able to kind of I just work a little bit back and forth. Let's take a small raw size brush. Trying to get that separation. There's a little bit of separation right in here. Move that down. There you go. If you hit F on the keyboard, that'll take you out full screen. That's really nice. You get stuck in the middle. Right click club. Go. Let's do the same thing here. Let's take the /3. Kind of give us some indicating lines. These actually go down a little bit more, so let's something like that. Now we're getting to a point where we're hitting really close. We're at 697. We're almost at the cap. I'll show you what happens at the cap. Draw a few more lines. All right, this is what happens. It'll say, sorry, the mesh is currently too dense for this mini version of ZBrush. Press reduce to decrease the mesh density and continue sculpting, or upgrade. So this is why they do that. So remember these buttons I kind of mentioned in the beginning? So you have low, 150,000. I'm going to go ahead and save this real quick. 150,000, 3,000, and then 500,000. We're still in the blockout phase, but I'll show you. If we go to the lowest stage, it's going to redecimate it, and it's going to take its mesh, and it will change things. So you have to give it time to compute. And let's just see how far we can push it. As I'll tell you right now, life just got really cool. So this is 149,990 points. So we went from damn near the 750 all the way back down, and we still retained a lot of detail. So you can really push this program to its max. We can get in here, and as you can see, the decimation really holds its shape. And we can work on top of that, because if Sculptress Pro can now get in here, get our clay buildup, for example. Go ahead and hit polygroups. Let's bring those brush dice down. Now see, you can just start getting back on there and refining. So you can do a lot with this program, just in this aspect alone. That's amazing. Actually, I'm pretty blown away by that in a happy way. Now you can do so much here. So we'll just keep pushing. All right, let's get these teeth fixed. Let's take the H polish. I'll bring some of this to a point. Funny, using core, I feel like I have more real estate on the left side of my monitor than I usually do. Huh? I do, right? It's weird. It's weird, but I want to hang out over here because I got a lot of real estate over here. So, wow. Guys, I'm actually, you know what? I really am fairly impressed with exactly how I was able to do that. And the other thing too is you are able, there's a button up here, export for 3D printing. You are able to take your models out of here and make them 3D printable. So that's good to know as well. Oh, coffee time, nice. Go ahead and kind of that down a little bit. There we go. All right. Take our standard brush, drop the sides of our brush down. We're gonna go ahead and kind of start inflating gums. Once we focus on the detail and get that detail locked in, we can then decimate it back down and never really worry about touching that again, unless we absolutely have to. So, that's super cool, actually. Take the clay buildup and let's go ahead and kind of work that a little bit more. Work that. Take the intensity up just a bit. Smooth that down. Take the slash brush, get in here. Kind of work this area up. Go stream right at time. A little bit of a brokenness right here. Fix this real quick. Go back to the slash brush. Bring that detail in there. Take the H polish. Take the standard brush. Now give that proper gum separation. F on the keyboard. So this is what we got so far. Not too bad. Not too bad. All right, let's go back to Streamriders. The melon. Here we go, here we go. We got 23 units. Let's do it. Come on, just a couple more buildings. Death Sacrament coming in hot with kills and assists. Nice. Yeah, this is easy. There we go. We did it. We did it. All right. Death. Look at that. Appropriate. Random. Hit you up. There you go. All right. Go ahead and the level 2 guys. I'm gonna put a healer down. I'll follow you around and heal you. All right, continuing on forward. So this is where we got in little under hour and a half. Too shabby. So we're gonna start detailing some things up. But first, tongue time. Okay, tongue time is gonna happen, and then proportion check, face. And then we're going to get into some eye details. And then we'll get into final details. And yeah, it's going to be really, really cool. Get the roots kind of lobbed up a little bit. So we have a lot to do and a short time to do it. Hey, thank you so much, Kappa Votes. Thank you so much for the follow. So we're going to take the clay buildup. And this is why the face is pushed back so far and not protruding forward. Although, I don't know. I don't mind the flat face mushroom dude so much. But what we're going to do is we're going to use symmetry. And we're going to build up, with clay build up, the tongue. And just do this with clay build up. Kind of smooth it down. Come back in. We don't want so much shredding to happen. We definitely want there to be a buildup. So we can kind of just use this brush, build up, kind of smooth down a little bit, keep building up. So we get something that's gross and something we can grab. Turn symmetry off. See there? This is why. I grab this and look at those teeth. Grab here and those teeth just crunch. We're not quite at a spot yet where I can grab it the way I want, so go ahead and grab inflate. Inflate this area just a little bit. Turn symmetry back on if we need to. Go. Our clay buildup. Build up on top of that. Grab our snake hook. Kind of grab this out a little bit. There we go. Move brush. Okay. All right, now we're gonna have to start working this guy. So what we're gonna do, go on the side. Gonna grab this and come up here. Actually, I'm gonna come down here on this side. Just be aware of where you're gonna push it. We're gonna turn symmetry off now. Now it's time to start moving it. Without crunching as much as we can. This is gonna be the hard part. Take the move brush. Sometimes the move brush is just a little bit easier in this case. The inflate brush. Go. Smooth and rebuild. Lower your brush size. Smooth it down a little bit. Go. So, go ahead and save this. Say this is version 2 now. Now this is a ZPR file, so it means it's saving a project, not a ZTL. Difference. Keep hitting that spacebar, nothing's happening. What the hell? Grab the snake hook. There might be some unavoidable actions that happen. You can see snake hook is actually rebuilding that geometry, and I don't need it to rebuild it. I'm going to take the move brush and kind of just start moving this around. I'm going to push this clay until I get it where it needs to be. Now, things get a little small, come back to the inflate. Balloon that out a little bit. Try to maintain it as much as you can. Literally just the trial of patience. And also look at the shape. Shape is going actually pretty. So this is super hard without a mask. Usually I would just mask this, rotate this, and done. But you know what? Let's take the A-cube approach. Break it. Just break it. Just tug and pull it until you get what you want. Then we can rebuild afterward. This, literally, I'm just going to start getting gross here. Let's get it. Wrong way. Always smooth it back down. Get that over there. Smoothing rebuilds the geometry. You see how broke this was? Moved it. I rebuilt that a little bit. That there, smooth it down a little bit. You can see this is definitely it's definitely a little bit more of a process than I'd like it to be. clay buildup, kind of get on top of that a little bit. So it might crunch it a bit, but you get a little bit more geometry to then smooth down. Come back in with the inflate, bring that back up, light smooth to blend it. Back in with the clay buildup. Smaller the brush, the finer the detail, so you can actually build shapes. Hello, Snickles! See Snickles? Cute little concept guy, right? So now we're sculpting asymmetrically on this backside of his tongue. Now we can fix the flow of this. Build this up underneath. Tongues have a little bit of like this kind of thick webbing that occurs right underneath there. I'm gonna try to add that without ruining the teeth. Might have been wise if I did this part before I did the teeth, but you live and you learn. Okay, now let's actually focus on the flow of this tongue. We're gonna go ahead and get a bigger brush and I'll just start having this warp around a little. Go back. What I want to do is actually kind of flip his tongue over. Curled a little bit. Down. Adorable. Yeah, exactly. Now we'll do is we'll take the slash brush and let's draw that middle fold line that tongues have. Down. Increase the intensity. This part's going to be the hard part. Can't really mask or, like I said, we can't really mask off or hide some of our models, so we kind of have to go for it. You know what, actually doing the teeth, I don't know, doing the yeah, maybe doing the teeth last should have been a better thing, but that's okay. This works. Save it. Play build up, kind of clean this up a little bit. There we go. Kind of have that flow going just a little bit right there. Let's take the standard brush. Down and dirty sculpting. Yep, exactly. And the inflate brush, we're going to inflate this area. I mean, with a standard brush. The standard brush, we're going to inflate this area. We're not really inflating so much. There we go. Now we'll take the move brush. Kind of blow this up a little bit. What I want to do is kind of pull this down. Almost kind of flipping his tongue around. There we go. Light smooth on some of this. Oh. All right, take the move brush one more time. I'm trying to match concept a little bit, although we're taking into account what we want to do. But kind of get that up there a little bit more. That. Okay. While this is here, actually up the intensity a little bit. I kind of liked what that did. Kind of lessened that geometry a bit. Go just a little bit. Is this for a game? No, this isn't for a game. This is just to kind of showcase what can be done within ZBrush Core Mini, which is a free program for ZBrush. This is just more kind of like showcasing that you could get something pretty cool off of this program if you're interested in learning ZBrush. Although it would be really cool if it was for a game. Alright. Alright, so at this point now, we're going to kind of go back to symmetry for a second. We're going to take the move brush. And now we're going to go ahead and kind of twerk his face up a little bit more. And I'm not really worried about teeth so much. That forward a bit. Almost pointy. A bit more grotesque. Go. Carefully bring his teeth forward. Match his gum line a little bit. Now his gum line is asymmetrical. What's my job? I am a freelance toy maker. Before the pandemic, I was a mini sculptor and graphic designer for the film industry. Right now, I just freelance making toys and mainly static statues, and then moving into articulation soon. Pardon me, my throat's acting up today. Nice. All right, there we go. Just need some water. All right. Yeah, it's looking a little bit better. Let's turn off symmetry and let's actually start manipulating his gums a little bit. Bring some life to this character. So we're going to move up his gum line. So trying to match the concept as best we can. While there is some symmetry to it, there's definitely a little bit of asymmetrical feel. We'll probably come in with a pinch brush and clean that line up a little bit. There we go. Take the pinch brush, shrink our brush down. Start cleaning these lines up. Some programs can convert 3D images to 3D models, 2D, 3D. Yeah, they can. There are some. Although I don't think it's ever going to replace an artist. There's a human element to some things that just can't be replicated by machines. But yeah, there are some. When I used to do photo retouching, there's now apps that can like youthify or de-age a person. And they're pretty good. But for a minute, we thought it was going to replace our job. It didn't. It's just kind of neat to know that there's people who write that code. Credit to all those guys. That's awesome. No, but can speed up your process. Yeah, I can. Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. Just depends on all what you're going for. There we go. Yeah, that's getting a little bit better. All right, let's do the same thing down below. We have some real cool funkiness happening down below that we're going to get into. Right now, we're going to just kind of pinch these areas. Yeah. Yeah, for a starting point. Exactly. Yeah, I've seen a few programs that can do a pretty decent job with converting images to 3D scans. But yeah, it's a long way from being perfected, but it definitely can give you a starting point. So if you needed a realistic base mesh, yeah, grab a photo of a full character or full like a picture of a full person, and you can do that. Problem with that though is that even if you scan it, if you don't know things like anatomy, then that's going to make things a little hard, and you can end up breaking your models if you don't understand the basic things. That's where the human element comes into it. So while you could get decent scans and models from said scans, you probably would still need an expert to come in and put that together. Again, just depends on the end game. All right. And now we're just going to start adding in some of these lines here. Bring some direction and shape into where these gums end. And let's grab the clay buildup and start carving away at that line. So juggling back and forth between symmetry is a pretty good idea at this point if you know some things are going to remain relatively symmetrical. What is up, Peter? How you doing, buddy? Welcome in, welcome in. All right. Let's go ahead before we start getting into the final details. Let's block out the rest of the stuff. So we're going to take the snake hook brush and let's give his roots some purpose. So we're going to turn off the symmetry and then we're just going to kind of have fun. Hey, Raze, what is up, dude? It's been a while for sure, man. How are you doing? I'm pretty good myself, personally. Just sculpting, making toys, having a good old time. Yeah, man, life's pretty good. Out of the obvious world situation, doing okay. Before we do all that, let's actually kind of tug this down. Turn symmetry back on. All right, nice. What is this? What is this prepare for battle thing? Oh, yes. So Stream Raiders. It is a free game, mainly played on Twitch. And it's just a little game that kind of just helps me break away from the project. But prepare for battle thing is you as a viewer and actually engage and put your own characters. It's kind of like a little RPG MMO thing. It's pretty cool. I like it. Hey, thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate it. Welcome on. All right, let's start getting, turn off symmetry. Let's start getting some of this detail. So we're going to use the standard brush, and we are going to go ahead and just start carving in some of these weird little lines that we got going on. We'll have to pay attention to the geometry, but okay. Go. Where some of these details are going to now start playing into effect. Down just for a bit. And I'm not trying to go for perfect on this, just trying to get the basic shapes. The idea will come across more than anything else, which is the goal of it. We are approaching the final geometry, so we'll have to actually retopologize this ZBrush way. There it is. So we're gonna go ahead and hit escape because I don't want it to auto reduce. I want it to do its own thing. Go ahead and save it. Let's go ahead and reduce it. And I'm gonna try to push it down to the very end like I did last time. So let's go ahead and hit low and let's see what happens. I found you from Stream Raiders. I like to get in random battles and watch some random streams. Nice. Well, welcome in. Hopefully you're having fun. Love Stream Raiders too, so yeah. Ooh, there it is. Look at that. There's the topology. A little crunchy, but, you know, for what we're working with, this is actually not too bad. Start building that back up. And really just focus on the detail now. That's what I really like about this. You can definitely get some good stuff happening here. Hello again. What can I call you? Oh, you could just call me Ian. I know IR Sculpts is my main name, but yeah, you could just call me Ian. IR, just my first and last name. So, that's what the initials stand for, if anybody was curious. There we go. Put it down a little bit. See, we got a little bit of a breakage here, so we'll smooth that down. Add that back up. Go. Schmuck works for you. Yeah, of course. Well, that's that sibling privilege, right? Right? There you go, yeah. There we go. Spell my name. Every time I hear the name IR, oh, every time you hear my name, you think of IR Baboon. Oh, that's funny. Yo, IR Baboon, hello! Yeah, we'll go with that. I put myself on the web, so I'm open to your guys's love. There we go. All right. Now this detail at the bottom is only going to look as good as we make it, so got to just focus on some of this. I think this is coming out pretty good. Said the standard brush is pretty cool. Feel like it's a little underutilized. Kind of make it our own little thing. All right, for the eye, because we broke symmetry, we're gonna go back to the move brush. Before we fix the eyes, let's actually get his eyes correct. We're gonna gotta crunch down. I crunch that up a little bit. And this one we're gonna exaggerate up a little bit more. Now we're gonna have to fix this. Looks a little weird. Let's just take the move brush and start moving. The move brush is super powerful, guys, so utilize it to the fullest advantage, and it doesn't add topology like the snake hook move brush does, but you can go ahead and get a lot of really cool. Gotta move that. Or did you create a Discord channel? I do have a Discord channel, yes. Did you study art? Yes, I did study art. I originally, so I'm 37, give you an idea. I originally used to do 2D art, more for fun, more hobby, not professional in any way, shape, or form. Just fun little 2D projects. Did some basic animation in high school. It was fun, but not the career for me. And then I kind of stopped doing art for a while. Then about 6 years ago, I started getting back into it. That's when I found 6 years ago, I started getting into it, played around with 2D for a little bit. And then about 4 years ago, I found ZBrush, and sculpting and I just kind of clicked. So then I did do some basic schooling, basic mini courses you could find around. And then I found the 3D Character Workshop, which they're not a sponsor, but I highly recommend them. They're a great workshop. It's run by Shane Olson, and he is an amazing teacher who just kind of breaks down how to do character sculpting. And so he kind of shows you the whole rope. And highly recommended. So that's my education background. Get the clay buildup. Now we're gonna go ahead and start adding some of this. Now what's cool about the clay buildup is you get these natural lines, and we have these here in the image, so we're going to just utilize them to, instead of starting to smooth, we can actually come in and keep those lines there. Give us that natural texture with the brush. Now what we're going to do is actually just start adding some of this texture. What we're going to do is actually kind of take a big brush, move this down a little bit. Try to rebuild some of this topology, just a smidget. Take the clay buildup, come over, smooth it down just a little bit. Kind of relaxes a lot of that geometry. Careful not to ruin what we have. Something like that. Now we're going to go ahead and start adding in lines. Go. Ooh, Stream Rados is ready. All right. It's perfect, and then we'll get into the final hour, which is detailing. Just like the sculpt off. So, really no different, actually. Right, so let's go ahead and save this. I think this is coming along pretty cool. I'm digging it. One of my teachers used to be a 3D artist, then learned some coding and started working as a game dev in the same company. Ooh, that's really cool. Good for them. Other 3D software doesn't have these many brushes, sculpting features ZBrush has. Yeah, that is true. There's a lot of brushes for ZBrush. I think Blender is a close second, although Blender has a lot of brushes in there too. But none that I think there's more development on ZBrush than Blender, but don't quote me on that. All right, let's go ahead and do it. The difference that at the sculpt off, you've been insanely nervous. Yeah, the difference was I was so insanely nervous for the sculpt off. Yeah. I think next time I'll be a lot more calm since I've put myself under that much pressure a lot of times since the sculpt off. Yeah. Yeah. Sculpt Off was a big deal, and I was really happy to be a part of it. I was really happy to see how my art stacked against other artists. That really also became a big confidence booster. Hey, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. And that's definitely the thing for me. That confidence, you know? Like SpongeBob running across, confident in every time. All right. Got that girl tab and Marith the Destroyer. Marith Destroyer. There you guys go. You got it. Get our scrolls. We don't got no scrolls. You don't get no rolls. Battle time. Big boss time. Here we go. But yeah, so big dude. I'm gonna stick my guy right in front, actually. Let's do that. Right. And also, too, I think the other thing besides being insanely nervous was I wasn't sure how I stacked against other artists. I wasn't sure how I stacked against other artists that were at a professional level, even though I've been freelancing, even though I've taken commissions, even though I worked in the film industry. There's always that doubt, right? That you're just not good at what you do. We are, as artists especially, our own worst enemies. So there was a lot of like, "Ooh, I hope I do well." So when I saw the people who won, who were deservingly so, versus mine, I was like, great, this is where I can improve. And then turning around and seeing how I did on top of that. So there's a lot of, it was good. It was a great experience. And I can't wait to do it again. Hola, hello, hello. I'm starting at sculpting. Can you give me any advice for eyelids? Yes, I can actually. Eyelids, since we kind of covered it a little bit when doing this, eyelids in particular, what you want to really pay attention to is the thick to thin aspect of an eyelid. Eyelids are thicker than you would normally think. Let's actually pull up a good reference. And reference is key. So what I would type in is eyelid anatomy. Anatomy, there it is. That's the first thing, is look up eyelids. And look up real reference, even if you're doing stylized. Reference is what you want. But there is something, we're going to zoom way in here. Hopefully you can see this. But you can see here how the eyelid is kind of thin, just right at the corners. Then it thickens up, gets its thickest at the lowest part, and then it comes back and it thins out. So there's this nice thin to thick to thin appeal that happens. And you definitely want to keep that there. The other thing with an eyelid, and I'll demonstrate it right now, is you want to have a nice flat surface with your sculpt. So if I were to kind of trace my eyelid like this, get a good one right here. Hold on one second. Get a good line happening like this. Out. So what you want to do is take your pinch brush. You definitely are going to want to pinch this area here, pinch this area in here, and have this kind of shelf come in. So you can take your slash brush. You can actually carve underneath this area. Now, of course, this is with ZBrush Core Mini, so the other thing is I would make the eye its own subtool in normal ZBrush or in Blender, and then have the eyelid separate so you can press it up against a little bit. So the main thing is look at reference, get that thin to thick to thin appeal, and then make it have like kind of a flat shelf, which I'll demonstrate more as I sculpt this eye. Back that up a little bit, because I don't know what you mean, Ian. I've never self-doubt or self-rejected myself from opportunities in any way, shape, or form. Exactly. Yeah, you're absolutely welcome. And welcome in, by the way. Depends on the person. If you're already experienced with other 3D software, Blender is easier because ZBrush interface is pretty weird compared to other software. Exactly, yeah. ZBrush is a little different. Okay, I missed that comment. Sorry. Which is easy, ZBrush or Blender? Yeah. Again, like Martin said, that depends on your software experience. If you're coming in as a complete noob to the industry of 3D art in general, then it doesn't matter. It's not about what's easiest because you have to learn the interface of whatever software you decide to use. For me, ZBrush was easier because it was shown to me first, and I don't have traditional box modeling experience, as in like professional. I've played in Maya, played in Fusion 360. I've done stuff from the machining world when I was in aerospace for like 12 years, but not advanced box modeling. So that knowledge just didn't really help me. And because I'm approaching my sculpts from an artist perspective, using Blender just seemed a little weird. But ZBrush is what I found first. It's what I use. It's what I know. So my recommendation is, it's not about what's easiest. It's about what you feel more comfortable in. So if you download Blender and you download ZBrush and you really like Blender, stick with that. Stick with what works. Use the tools that you have at your advantage. And don't buy something just because somebody says, hey, I use this software, you should use it. Try it out first, test it, see how you do with that software, and then go from there. I recommend ZBrush because it's an industry standard on top of being so good at what it does. It is the best sculpting program out there, in my humble opinion. Blender is a close second. Thanks to the pandemic, Blender has been developed heavily this last year, and good. It should, actually. Blender's great. I use Blender for rendering and for simple base meshes if I want to have super clean topology. But yeah, it's about what you feel comfortable using, so try it all. See what happens. For every one of the gamers, on the 14th of January until the 21st, Star Wars Battlefront 2 is going to be free on Epic Games Store. Oh, sweet. Oh, awesome. Martin, thank you. Actually, that's cool. That's probably the only way I'd play it. I actually have it for the PlayStation 4, and once I learned how they broke everything, I just kind of like walked away from it. But I'd be down to play it again. Free game too. You have it for Xbox? Yeah, nice. Huh? Nice. Well, this would be free though to own for life. Cool. Well, I'll check it out. Are you finishing up in this stream for the render? No, we're not going to get to the render aspect today. We're just kind of sculpting in this program, seeing how it works as a whole. But you can always cover tomorrow quickly in the morning. A simple render, kind of something fun. This was just kind of to show how powerful ZBrush Core Mini, the free version of ZBrush, is, and what can be done with it. But we could probably render something cool tomorrow. I wouldn't mind. All right, let's go ahead and get a smaller brush. Start getting some of these other details down. So now with this clay buildup, we'll take a bigger brush and we'll kind of just lightly smooth that down, which rebuilds some of this topology. Yes. Thanks for everything. Have a nice stream. I'm off. All right, Meredith, have a great one. Thank you so much. Thanks for raiding with us. Thanks for hanging out with us. And enjoy the rest of your day or evening, wherever you are in the world. Go. Go. Some of that in there. Now, like I said, we're on the total asymmetrical side of things. We're going to do for this on the underside belly. Let's actually first, let's get some better detail going. We put a lot of detail into this. So I'm going to hit medium resolution, which will take everything from a near 700,000 to 500, which will be fine. I'll just allow us to get a little bit more detail. I'm sorry, to 300. Even better. Where do you find ideas for sculpting? Good question, because I'm actually always looking for new ideas. Mainly what I do is I pick a word. Like, for example, last night was like, what should I demonstrate? And I picked mushroom as my word. I typed in mushroom characters because I love making characters, and immediately found this guy after scrubbing through for about 10 minutes. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll just kind of think of something in my head, like a word or a phrase, or even an object that I've seen over time that I thought, oh, that'd be kind of cool to sculpt. I also make a list. Sometimes I just have a little list on my phone of like, oh, this would be kind of cool one day, of projects and stuff. But if I'm ever stuck, I just pick a word and then kind of see what I can do with that word. How did my Iron Giant come out? Slump, it came out pretty well. We're not finished with it yet. We'll be doing more of that tomorrow. The main problem is figuring out articulation, where it's at. That's where I'm at with my stream. The sculpt itself is pretty much done. I haven't gotten into texturing or detail. I didn't want to do that until I got articulation down. And articulation is a little bit of a challenge. So I may like just kind of pause it, maybe do another hard surface project. I have a couple ideas in mind, but I didn't want to detail it the rest of the way because it's going to be for a toy. And so, yeah, I just haven't detailed it the rest of the way. Or it's kind of paused due to what I want to do. But I'm going to, because I want to release it. I actually want to get that printed so it's articulated right, and then we can release it to the wild. I think that'd be kind of cool. Search for Pinterest ArtStation until your eyes bleed for more. Yeah, right. That's is always a way to do it. Okay, so we're gonna kind of just come through and finish making these little bulb things. Not sure what this is called. I have actually. I pulled some anatomy, so on the I know that part's called a cap. What is that called? I'm in 04. I'm in 04. How do you say that? I don't even know. In this case, gills. Okay, gills. It's the gills of the mushroom. That's what we're working on. Good to know. I didn't even know that was what they called it. That makes sense, though. So we're working on the gills. Yeah, Pinterest is great for finding ideas, too. I find Pinterest sometimes, personally, to be a little bit overwhelming. Same with ArtStation. I find it that sometimes it's a little overwhelming. You can get down the rabbit hole of very specific things, but it is a great tool, and I've used it a lot. But I find that I'm breaking more and more away from sticking with concepts, even though like that's a great skill set and you should do it. But I've been trying to use concepts more to create original pieces instead of always doing fan art, so to speak. So go ahead and save that real quick. So yeah, just kind of search, look around, see what's out there. I definitely recommend in the beginning trying to replicate something you see, because that's what a lot of jobs are with sculpting. We want you to take an idea from a concept artist and make it a reality, especially if you want to be in the game world. Typically sculptors in the game world, even toys, games, films, doesn't matter, whatever industry it is that has sculpting, for the most part, you're going to be doing something off of a concept of some sort. Somebody's going to draw up a character or a lot of characters. Your job is to make those characters 3D. So, working off a concept, that should be your first goal. Second goal, then creating your own stuff, or taking fan art and making your interpretation, that sort of stuff. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and take the move brush now. I'm going to turn on symmetry. What I'm going to do is kind of tuck this in a little bit, since these gills kind of flare up and in. That. And now we can see those gills the way they are. Now we want to define these a little bit more. So what we're going to do is actually let's take the slash brush, do the same thing. Let's go ahead and kick this back down to 300,000 because we want to maintain a lot of those details. And then we'll finish the face and get all that stuff going. Beautiful. All right, just really pushing the details on these gills. It's crazy that that's what that's called. I think of gills and I just think of fish. But here we go. And I really wish you can paint in ZBrush Core Mini. All right. Start getting into the face the rest of the way. So we'll come back to the clay buildup. We're going to go ahead and give him like a little bit of a ridge here. There we go. Drop the intensity down. There we go. Bring that nose up a little bit. Actually, the more you kind of work with this, easier it gets a little bit. And you kind of work with some of the imperfections of the geometry. You can see that there's some crunchiness happening with the topology as it's trying to rebuild. So kind of build on top of it, smooth it out a little bit, which will relax all that geometry, and then you can kind of focus again on getting that back. So working on the eyes a little bit. Let's get the little tear ducts built right in there. Now let's take the move brush. Let's get that nice almond shape look happening. Eyes sit back. They're not flat. They are round. So you want to make sure that you kind of pay attention to the eye curves, or the eyelid curves around the eye. And since we didn't have a subtool to work off of, or separate subtool to work off of, rather, we have to kind of manually manipulate that shape. We want to make sure that that looks like it wraps a little bit, tucks back into the head. So taking some of this and moving it back. Doesn't ZBrush have a free trial before buying? It does, yeah. They have a 30-day trial that you can try, but then yeah, you have to pay for it. ZBrush, if you want to buy ZBrush, I mean, I recommend if you want to buy ZBrush, buy the full license out the gate. Do not subscribe because it's a for life license. So you pay the whatever it is now. I paid like $750 for it at the time. I think it's like 900 now, maybe. Don't quote me on that. But you have it for life, free upgrades. I've been running ZBrush since 2017 ish. So yeah. And I've upgraded every time, and they don't charge for upgrades, so something to keep that in mind. That looks awesome. Dude, thank you so much, Martin. I really appreciate that, dude. Actually really happy with how this came out. Kind of tuck this part in. Kind of smooth his eye a little bit. Sense of what that looks like, and we'll build up underneath that here, but we want to get the shapes right. Eyes are kind of almond shaped, even these freaky ones. So tuck that back a little bit. Take the standard brush, and we're going to use the standard brush right now. Kind of inflate that eyelid. It's like that. And it gives it a little bit of a ridge. I'll show you guys another trick with eyelids too that I use a lot. After we use the standard brush, back in there, lower that down. The other thing we could do is grab the inflate. Actually just kind of tap. Not dragging, I'm more tapping onto the screen. That presses the eyelid back to the eyeball. That. Giving it the sense that it's connected, because right here it looks like it's kind of floating. So you just kind of come in here and you just tap that back on. And this kind of helps connect the two together, gives it a little bit of weight to it. I do this for cloth and skin pressure. Anytime if a band, for example, if it's squeezing on an arm, there would be a little bit of an inflate around that band. So this actually works the same way. So you can take a step back and kind of see how that looks. Which pen do you use? I use the XP pen Artist 13 Pro and their proprietary pen that comes with it, although most pens work here. Hey, what's going on, dude? I read somewhere that the license is good for 20 years. That's crazy. It's still a good deal. It really is, yeah. Yeah. They haven't charged for upgrades, though their website says only 1 year of free upgrades. Still think petrol is better. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. On the same page, man. On the same page. Yeah. I think the reason why they have that lingo there is to kind of save their own ass. You know what I mean? Like, if they decide to change their slogan or their motto, or they just decide, you know what, we're moving a different direction and we're now going to start charging, it's a way to do it. But they've kind of just been known over time to just be the company that does it for free upgrades. So yeah, it does say that 1 year free upgrade. I remember freaking out the first time I bought ZBrush and read that. And I was like, oh crap, are you serious? I'm not gonna get my free upgrades? I missed out. So yeah, it's pretty funny actually. I'll just kind of bring some of this up. I want to make a pipeline ZBrush to Cinema for making character modeling and rigging. Ooh, that's cool. I like that. Do it, man. Do it. Yep. What I love, you know, while there are studio pipelines and there are ways that you want to do certain things, creating your own pipelines and having consistency within your work is by far one of the best things you could do. So yeah, I get it. I'm being very purposeful with each one of these lines so that it kind of that the shapes make sense. Some areas like right here would actually be dipped in. Line should come up like this. Do a light smoothing. I'm getting to that end, so I'm going to save it real quick. Let's actually go ahead and kick it down to high. We want to kick it back down a little bit. Don't want to go too much. Hey Terrell, you doing? Yeah. But I always have questions like, always have questions like, if you, after finishing the Sculpt and ZBrush, bring in a 3 software, can you still be able to have the simulation of cloth and hairs? Okay, so ZBrush is kind of like destructive sculpting. So when you take it out of ZBrush and bring it into another program, it is how it is. But if you want to set something up for rigging, then of course, you know, you'll have to create your rig, and then you'll have to start the animation process. But ZBrush is a little destructive in its process. That's why we save a bunch of subtools and stuff. So if part of your pipeline is to come back and edit at all times, maybe work with projects a little bit, but once you're within ZBrush, once you take it out, it's done. So however it was from there, it gets sent over to the rig department, etc. Thanks so much for the pinch advice. I just finished the eye for my first sculpt. Nice! Heck yeah. Clothes and hair, short answer is yes, it's possible. Yeah, that is the short answer. It is possible. There's so many different little things. It's yeah. So many little things. Well, I'm glad you finished the eye. That's awesome. If you want to share it, please upload it to Imager or upload it to my Discord, and I'd love to check it out. But yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of processes and pipelines and stuff when it comes to your character, so it all depends on what you want to do. If you're going into animation and games, you're going to be working with hair cards and all sorts of fun little things. Just enjoy the journey. Never rush it. That's what I say. An image or the Blender file? Oh, just an image. Would love to just see what you did. Screen grab it if you want. Only if you want to. No pressure. But feel free to share your work in my Discord anytime whatsoever. It's there for artists to connect and hang out and have a good time. So, right. We're going to go ahead and get small details in here now. We're going to start getting the slash brush. Actually start redefining some of these areas. And what we're going to do officially is actually make some of these shapes and then go really low resolution and use a slash brush to redefine some of these. A good time never. Exactly, right? There we go. There we go, just like that. Right. Create some of these little tails now. Now we're getting into the nitty-gritty. Got about a minute left, so the last half hour will be just going in and getting our final details going. We can't paint it, so it's going to be kind of a generic little sculpt, but that's okay. Definitely want to add some more of this. So let's go ahead and take our medium resolution. Let's kick it back down. If it sometimes is difficult to know if you're doing something wrong when you don't have someone know how to. Yeah, exactly. I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah, it is. It definitely can be difficult to ensure if you're doing something right if you just don't know. So yeah, being able to ask questions I always find to be super helpful. So I'm glad it was helpful too. I learned Cinema 4D. It's been a year, and I've done some progress learned by Grayscale Gorilla Tortilla. Nice. Tutorials. Wow. Tutorials was a hard word. Okay. That's my bad. Grayscale Gorilla Tutorials. That's awesome. Yeah, that is super awesome. Yep. Just learn. That's, I mean, I said I've been sculpting for a little over 4 years now, and I just keep learning. Just do it. Not a Nike slogan. All right, this is gonna be our second to last Stream Raiders, and then it'll be it for the day. And here we go. Ooh, 34 allies. Nice. I like it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Look at that. Like it was nothing, I tell you. All right, and Carday and Peter. Here you go, buddy. Nice. Good job, good job, good job. All right, where do we want to go? Death, where do you want to go? Nice, I'll check that out right now. You want to do top, middle, or bottom? Death is my brother's, for those of you who are new, and he's here with me.
Bottom?
You want to go bottom? All right, let's go bottom. I like it. I should also try some other softwares like Blender. I have tried some other softwares. Because I make toys. Oh, that's a level 1. I can actually like do some other stuff. Because I make toys, I really don't. I've tried some stuff, but I'm gonna put a musketeer right here. Here we go. Because I make toys, I don't necessarily have to worry about some things like topology all the time. I don't have to worry about some other things. So ZBrush works for me, and that's where I get my bread and butter done. But I have definitely played in Blender. Some people have experienced that on a live stream. I'm not a sole ZBrush cowboy. I just prefer it, and it's my main program that I use to get everything done. But I definitely have played a little bit. Okay, a little quick. I'm gonna go ahead and check out this image. Doop 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 doop. Grab it, Blender. Nice. Ooh, I like this. This is cool. It gives me a Dobby feel. Nice. And I see what you did there with the eye. Very cool. Yeah, that's looking good. I like how you got a little bit of a tear duct in there. Very almond shape. Nice. Yeah, this is great. This is a good start. Love it. Keep going. Great job. Right. Detail time, guys. You are so welcome. All right, here we go. Here we go. We're going to start carving in these details. Even though it just seems to be so flat here in the concepts, we're going to give it a little bit of volume. This is the hard part about 2D to 3D is when do you break away from the concept and start giving some interpretation, because 2D is not easily translatable to 3D. Some are easier than others, but it's not always the case. So you definitely want to be able to kind of break away a little bit and get a different feel of how some of this is going to work. So we're going to definitely give some shape in areas that don't necessarily show up in the concepts, but would work a little bit better. And they're just little things, not big changes, just little stuff. Paying attention to shadows is important, all that good stuff. Right. A little bit of overlap right here. And go ahead and shrink this down a little bit. Kind of lift some of this up. All this little detail right here that I'm seeing. Little things to pay attention to. Again, here the key is practice. Put those ridges in. Get that shape happening so it's not a flat base. I'm gonna curl his lip a little bit down. This looks pretty cool. Really, I was starting with an old man concept. Nice, nice. I think that sculpting is way better and easier than polygon modeling. Box modeling, yeah, sculpting is a lot more fun too, in my opinion. But I've seen some very talented box modelers. But I'm like, God damn, I wish I could do that. You know? Like, there are some very good box modeling. I was watching a tutorial that was released this year on YouTube. And it was about Pixar's base mesh and animation. And a guy just like box modeled his character. It was so crazy. All right. So we kind of destroyed a little bit of detail, but I noticed this was too round. So I'm trying to kind of flatten that up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and kind of take the H polish and kind of flatten that edge a bit, and then we'll go in and fix the gills. Love that they're called gills. That fascinates me. Too round, so we're going to go ahead and kind of clean this up. And I'm doing this asymmetrically because I want this to have some sort of appeal to it. Symmetrically, it just doesn't look good. You know, it's a mushroom, completely asymmetrical. So I'm going to kind of clean this up a bit. Here we go. And then we'll take the clay buildup, lower the intensity a lot. Times a little bit is all you need. I come through. Now let's take the slash brush. I just messed up the ears and I was like, and I like the form, and so I continued a goblin concept. Heck yeah. Box modeling is good, especially if you're trying to learn topology. Absolutely. Okay. This we're gonna go light. What we're gonna do is start adding this kind of edge work detail that's on this mushroom. This is where the pressure sensitivity brush kind of comes into play. You can just kind of lightly hit some spots, and then you can gouge it a little bit more. Go ahead and rebuild this geometry. We're getting too high. That's definitely the pain in the butt with the free version, but you know, it's a free version. gonna randomly add in these lines wherever they look good, but I'm maintaining the direction that they're going, so that consistency is key. Go. We're gonna go ahead and redefine some of these little bulbs too. And you see, I'm just trying to keep all of the details exactly the same. Also, something like this, you don't need to have a true steady hand, so you can have weird shapes come out. Actually, that kind of helps with this concept a lot. Yep. Just like this. Box modeling starts from a low poly mesh, and then it will put in subdivision surface, put in sculpting. You can see, you can make it real time. Yeah, the difference with the main difference, the hard part, right, with the sculpting aspect, is that when you're done, now you have to retopologize it. So the box modeling aspect is super important, because if you are trying to animate your character, then you got to go through and use box modeling tools to then rebuild. So while sculpting gets you to where you want to be quickly, there is something said from somebody who can build a clean base mesh from box modeling and then turn it into that character. Then they don't have to retopologize if they did it right. So there's like pros and cons to everything. Here, if I were to animate this, first off, I would have stopped and never left symmetry, and then made things differently, made the tongue separately, retopologize that separately, bring it in. Like, it's definitely a different process. I only use ZBrush for organic stuff. Everything other than organic, my stuff is box model. Yep. Ooh, we're already... Oh, yeah, we didn't. We're already too high on the mesh. Wow, keeping this super low is actually quite challenging. We're getting to the details, and that takes up a lot of real estate. Especially since I'm using the Sculptress, and the Sculptress just rebuilds on the fly, and I'm using a small brush, so you see, look at all that. How dense that is. Looks good, but man, is that chonky. And then it's dense. Okay. We're going to take our pinch brush now. I'm going to kind of pinch this eyelid just a little bit more. In ZBrush normal, in standard ZBrush, I would actually use the damn standard. Create a better line. And then pinch that line, but we don't have that option here. Which, to be honest, I'm actually quite surprised. Since damn standard's been a brush that is like essential in ZBrush. My opinion. Go. Keep those eyelids consistent. Yeah, but sculpting organic stuff way faster, but you definitely would have to rebuild. Bring these teeth up a little bit more, give it a little bit more shape. At least we got some... You know, guys, we actually did pretty good. I'm pretty happy with this. Okay, I'm going to show you real quickly. I'm going to take the standard brush. I'm going to add a little bit of imperfection all over. Say that's not working that way. Let me try something else real quick. I was gonna add like little bumps here and there, but we kind of already have that. I think what we'll do is we'll take a big, take the standard brush, make it a little bit big, kind of inflate some of this area. Give it a little bit of creasing. So see, we're here where there's a cut right here. Actually give it a little bit more intensity. Let's actually kind of build up that area. Just Give it a little bit more depth than is there. Are you making those two other mushrooms behind this? Not enough time to do that today, and definitely not in this program. There's just not enough topology to do that. But I don't know, maybe I might do that just on my own later. Do you have some specific goal for this year regarding sculpting? Learn articulation officially, get really good at it. Right now I'm still trying to get hired back with studios, but studios aren't hiring in my area, and I haven't been picked up anywhere else. So trying to get back into a studio, that just, of course, that depends on the world and how that's going to go. And then, honestly, just keep learning and improving, study anatomy even more than what I have so far, because can always improve. And yeah, just keep pushing myself, just keep pushing my work. That's about where I'm at right now. Yeah, those are my goals for the year. I don't like necessarily making resolutions, like New Year's resolutions. I've never successfully kept one, so I guess that's more of like a life goal at this point. Just keep pushing my art. You know what I mean? That's great. That's all what we can do. Absolutely. So what do you guys think of this little shroom dude? Not too shabby, right? If you're wondering how powerful ZBrush Core Mini can be, hopefully this was helpful. But yeah, I think this came out pretty damn cool. Looks cool, yeah, I like them too. I might 3D print them, actually. That might happen. Because we can 3D print. Maybe what we'll do, okay. Yeah, if I wanted to 3D print it, maybe for resin for sure. I have a little mushroom dude. Yeah. It's like a nightmare of Mario Brothers. There's not mushroom for more. There's not mushroom for more detail. Thank you. That was the best pun so far. Oh, that was awesome. Wow, thank you so much for that. Superb. Just truly. Well, we got a few more minutes, so we're gonna make as much mushroom as we can. Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah. Beautiful. Made my eyes water. Holy crap. Now we're gonna get in all this detail. Just watch this number crease. Each line, like 617, 628, 639, 656. The /3 is detail heavy. Had to be done. It did, and I'm so happy you did it, Turbo. I'm so happy. Seriously, my eyes watered on that one. That was great. I love it. Oh. Keep pushing. Now, what is cool is because of how we save projects, and I'll show you guys, you should be able to take this into full ZBrush, and we'll find out. And I say should, I don't want to be quoted on something that I haven't tested, but ZBrush projects are usually cross-platform as you move up, not the other way around. So I guess not true cross-platform, but you do something in ZBrush Core, for example, you can take that file into ZBrush. That being said, I don't know how they're going to do that for... I think they should do that. I mean, that's the warning labels I've been getting, right? So we'll find out. We'll test that right now, so that way you guys know. So in case you do hit that upgrade button, it should be able to take it in there. I mean, it only makes sense, right? Right. Go, just bringing in some of that detail, you know, in that direction going. These gills are kind of like fans, so I want to put it where it makes sense. Pardon me. I want to make sure this gets connected up on top. Which format do you export for printing? Within ZBrush standard, they have a plugin called 3D Print Hub. I think that's the official name. In here, it's just going to be this little button up here that says export for 3D printing. And yeah, STL. I usually do STL. They have options for OBJ, which I've had good success with OBJ as well. But yeah, mainly STL. STL is just kind of the proven standard. So, but OBJ works out really, really well. OBJ tends to hold on to... I would use OBJ if I was like exporting a super high res. Without decimating it. If I wanted to just have it like 1,000,000 polygons and print all that detail, which I have done before because I've had special projects that required that kind of attention to detail. Mainly in text, where crunching that type of information sometimes gets a little much. So I've done an OBJ because I feel like it handles, at least my machine handled it a little bit better. I don't know if it's proven, it's just kind of my experience. So mainly STL, yeah. Gonna try to come here as much as I can. Yes, please do. Yeah. I love hanging out with you guys, but I love sharing my knowledge. And I'm also willing to learn from others too. So, you know, if you have something you want to share, please feel free to do so. I'd be ZBrushing anyway. And I love to stream it. And I do it now starting next week, 3 days a week. My schedule is typically Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time with a half-hour break in between, just because I like to eat. I want to eat my lunch. So, I'm not lying, brother. I love hanging out with you. Even you, brother. Alright, trying to get this last little bit of details requiring a lot of rebuilding. But, so 300,000. Cut this in there. Really want some of these edges to be super defined. So from afar it looks like a separate tool. Yeah. Oh lord, that looks so good. A little bit of crunchiness right there. Let's take a look at it as a whole. Okay. Last thing, so we have a little bit of grossness happening, is we're gonna take the inflate brush, which does not in any way, shape, or form add geometry, just expands it. So tomorrow, last stream of the week, yes. Tomorrow's Friday, and then I take the weekend off. I kind of treat this a little bit kind of like my job a bit. It's a nice way to keep putting myself out there too. All right, let's take the sander brush. kind of carve in the back a little bit. There we go. We don't want to take too much attention away from stuff, but let's blow up his gums. Just now kind of going over with a fine-tooth comb, so to speak, of like what I want to have stand out and be defined. Flare this out. Okay, we need to fix his mouth a little bit. Got into a little bit too much detail on top of him. So we want to match that just a bit with the bottom. I start with sculpt because I want to understand better 3D perspective. Yeah, for drawing, I just fall in love with the sculpt. It's too much fun. It really is. I love it. When I started sculpting, I just fell in love with it immediately. I know exactly what you're talking about. It is super fun. And I can admit it. I am literally addicted to ZBrush. Just love sculpting and creating. We're going to kind of take the clay build up a little bit. Just bring a little bit of rough texture. Because we can't use any alphas in here. We want to utilize the brushes we have to bring us some of that texture. So not having it super smooth is going to be helpful to kind of convey what it is we're trying to sell to the audience. That's... Some things are just going to be what they are. Go to kind of get that vibe a bit. Almost 7.19. Almost. I'm seeing this restream bots are this all from Twitch? Oh, you're seeing restream bots. So the restream are I stream to both Twitch and YouTube at the same time. I'm not affiliate because I want to be able to do that. Because I'm starting to build up my YouTube channel, where I drop little kind of nuggets of information about ZBrush or anything I find useful to the art community. And so I restream to keep active there to YouTube. Also, too, just another way to back up my streams more officially, because sometimes I will release a speed art, and YouTube is perfect for that. Go. Get that detail of that teeth a little bit better. Go ahead and take the let's take the flash one more time. A carbon underside real quick. As kind of missed a little bit of that. And build these gums back up. Should I join Twitch too, or else stay here? No, wherever you want to be. Yeah, wherever. I stream to both. The only benefit to being on Twitch is if you want to play Stream Raiders. That's it, but I mean, it's up to you. Yeah, for sure. I appreciate you hanging out over there on the YouTube side. I can see you there. And it's fun. Alright, let's take the /3 one more time. Alright, so let's go ahead and keep this up just a little bit. We're going to finish this, so we might go a few minutes longer, guys. I want to finish this. It's almost there. Needs a little bit more love. YouTube, I can't read your names. Oh, that's a bummer. I think personally Twitch is having some complications that are far beyond even my control. I think some of that is, unfortunately, on Twitch's side, they've kind of been failing a little bit on some things. Not much we can do about that. Finally call them out when they're... Alright, so I'm out for the day a bit earlier. However, it has been amazing as always. I wish everyone have amazing days. See you, everyone, tomorrow. Yep, see you tomorrow, Martin. Have a great day, buddy. Thanks for hanging out, as always. I appreciate you, my friend. And I'll see you tomorrow. Now we're going to take a big brush and kind of lightly smooth some of this down. I'm going to take the clay buildup now because this bottom part looks a little weird. I'm going to kind of trace this area with the clay buildup. Bring some of that texture, the mushroom in. So it stays consistent. That's super important. Go ahead and increase the intensity. Watching that number increase is a little stressful. It is though. It says our game's over here. Oh, it says your name's over here? Yeah, that's crazy. Only problem with YouTube that I have is that it's like 20 seconds behind the stream sometimes. That's the consensus I've gotten from a lot of viewers and my own experience with watching other people there, but it's nice to be able to see where it's all coming from on my end. So as you can see, as you start getting overwhelmed with topology, for the most part, starts getting a little crunchy. So doing things like using the standard brush to inflate certain areas and to exaggerate other ones, using the standard brush as well as inflate, that combination is just pretty good. Kind of just helps sell it all. Kind of balloon this up a little bit. Just after the Twitch part. Yeah, I gotcha. Why, could you raid Wandering? You so choose? Yes, absolutely. Wandering is amazing. Guys, we're going to be raiding him. He's an amazing, talented painter. If you don't know who he is, hang with us. You'll like him. Great dude. He paints minis, and he is also picking up some of my sculpts. But he likes to take ours and take their work and promote them. It's awesome. Cool dude. All right. Go ahead and save this. All right. We got one more Stream Raiders. I'm not going to bail on it. But after the Stream Raiders, before we raid another person on the Twitch side, we're going to go ahead and export this out so you can see how it looks. One little thing here that I wanted to add that is in the concept is a little knot. Kind of fun. Something like that. Little knot on his head. I appreciate. Don't want to change the direction too much though. Kind of soften that up a little bit. There we go. Holy hag, that looks like one of my nightmares. Hello. Hello. Welcome, welcome. Over here. All right. All right, guys. Kind of blend that back in just a little bit. There we go. Just tweaking a couple things real quick. Let's do some Stream Raiders. I'll show you what the export option looks like, and we'll go from there. So, save. Let's go to Stream Raiders, the final one for the day. And then we raid Wandering. Is he actually live? Okay, cool. I know sometimes we hit or miss each other. Get it, get it, get it. Brush is raiding him too. This should be fun. Heck yeah. There we go. Look at that. We did it. We did it. As we tend to do. Alright guys, J. Crew! Item rewards for you. It's raining. All right, guys. So we'll play more of this tomorrow. Go ahead and close this down for the day. Is it a game? Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Go to Stream Raiders. Log in with your Twitch account, and then next time I go live, when you're here, you click the link. It takes you to my stream raid. You can place your characters. You can also ask advice of how other people play. Parday, Death, Peter, TWC Blank, really good at it. Hit Cat as well. A lot of people play, so check all that. They can even give you pointers on what characters to focus on. Like, they go ham on it. All right, so here's our little character guy, and real quick, just to kind of, like, I'm gonna be chopping this off actually, so we're not really worried about that. Kind of gave him like a little weird beard. Yeah. Kind of go with some of the details. Ooh, that was a little glitchy. First error, ZBrush. But when we 3D print this in the slicer, it actually cut this section off so it can stand. So, not going to focus on so much detailing this part. I think it looks cool like that. Add a couple more little things. It's helpful to just kind of keep the texture consistent. Go. Yeah, that's reading pretty decently. I mean, for a 3-hour sculpt, not too bad, right? Can't really complain on that. All right. Take it to where we are. As I noodle. As I'm noodling all in front of you guys. This is what happens with sculpting. Noodle away, but ooh, I found a cool way to make some details real quick. Take the play build up, grab it, and then smooth that down just a little bit. Brings a little bit more life to it. Let's do that real quick. Because I will be 3D printing this, so, you know. Why not? 3D print him on my next articulation project. There we go. All right, a little bit of texture. We don't want to overdo it. All right, so to go ahead and let's save. I will play tomorrow. Nice. Yeah. Put it in a vessel. Nice. Yeah, right? Okay, cool. So what you do is you go ahead and click this guy, and then, okay, it's going to export as an OBJ only. So we're going to call this Evil Mushroom. Go ahead and click it. It's going to go ahead and process everything. And it's going to do its black magic, whatever that is. I don't know. Just, you know, it's going to do its thing. By the way, I'm almost done with my 3D print. Just missing the front of the hair and the back of the hair. Tail. Nice. I cannot wait to see it. All right. That should be done. So if we minimize that, let's go into our folder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up Prusa Slicer. Now usually what I recommend doing is when working with 3D prints in general, you want to set the scale of your model, but we can't do that here. Kind of stuck. My OBJ, throw it in there. It says it's too large. Actually not that bad. Look at that. So what we can do now is actually rotate this. This is why I do Prusa Slicer, by the way. I rotate this where I think it would be cool. And then we can actually cut this. So we could do something like right there at the bottom. I'm gonna go ahead and move this out the way so you can see the whole thing. But actually cut it right about there. And then we want to keep upper. We don't want to keep lower. We just want to keep the upper part. Go ahead and cut that. And now that's standing there just the way we want it. And then it's actually pretty good. So then I'll go ahead and export this as an STL. Call this, where are you? Evil Mushroom STL. Save it. Good to go. Twitch is streaming faster than YouTube. Yeah, it really does. And there it is, right there. So you can't rescale it in 4 Mini, but you can actually come in here and start scaling and doing all the other stuff if you wanted to. So you're able to at least have some sort of control this way. And that is it, guys. That's how we do it. Alrighty, that will be it for the day. Thank you all for hanging out with me. Hopefully this was helpful to some of you. And thank you for the great questions. And hopefully I answered them all as well as I could. Let's go over to Twitch TV. And we'll go ahead and raid on the other side. Ooh, everything got nasty reset. I don't like that. I'm gonna have to go back on my dark thing. Go ahead and grab this. Mature audiences. Go to my channel real quick. You guys don't want to watch that part. I'm gonna go ahead. Yep, I got it. Raid. Wandering. That will be it, guys. That'll be it. Plus Ultra. You know it. Yep. Please don't leave. Don't leave, man. Nope, we gotta leave today. But thank you so much for hanging out. I do appreciate it. And I'll see you all tomorrow, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we'll be working on... I don't know yet. We'll work on something. We still got more articulation to do, so maybe we'll jump in there. But, all right. I will talk to all of you later.